My name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, police to boost presence as festive season draws near. Ministry to monitor SME grants. And monopolistic traders warned about trading.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Jackie Spade.
Expect more police officers in uniform and civilian clothing patrolling our busy streets and communities as we head towards the festive season. Police have been inundated with requests from the public for more police presence. Akusita Tale reports.
Criminal opportunists will be out to take advantage of the busy period ahead of us. However, there will be heavy surveillance.
It will be out there. We will not be able to divulge the finer details of it. We are working with technology, cameras and the likes. When we'll be out there, how we do it, whether we're in civilian or in uniform, that's something we cannot divulge because definitely the other side, the criminal elements, will know.
The public is assured there will be heavy police presence in all the major centers and hotspots around the country.
So that if there's anything that they're worried about, they can call these command centers. I get calls as well, but the right place to call so that you can get immediate, quick action are these command centers. If that fails, feel free to call me.
The Suva Retailers Association has praised the increased presence of police in the capital. However, they hope it's every day.
We need more foot patrols. Not just car patrols, but foot patrols patrolling the hotspots, especially in the Suva CBD area, like Nina Street, Mark Street, Market area. We need to see what will deter the pickpocketers, and that will be the presence of police officers.
A more visible police presence and increased road patrols is needed to combat street and community crime. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
All small and medium enterprises receiving the Small Micro Business Grant from government will be monitored by the Ministry of Industry and Trade. This monitoring will enable the ministry to assess the impact of the grant on the business and the livelihood of the recipient. Eleanor Tarangaivu with the details.
34-year-old Cecilia Savenada has been wheelchair-bound for 6 years, and for the last 2 years she has been running a small canteen business to support her 2 children's education. Today she received her $1,000 grant from government to expand her business.
I got ill when I was at my husband's village in 2011, and then I moved back to my parents' home. They had initially started this business, but it was closed down after 2 years. I took on the business with the help from my sister 2 years ago, and this grant will certainly help improve our life back at home as well as other villages.
Savenada is one of the 1,006 small and micro business owners to receive their grants under the Small and Micro Business Grant Scheme at Ratunganilau Park in Savu-Savu this morning.
Through the MSBG grant, the Fijian government has been able to formalize over 15,000 micro and small business entrepreneurs. And by having a strong and resilient MSMEs, we are able to grow the economy from within, and we are empowering Fijians.
The scheme is part of government's commitment to improving the standard of living and to provide sustainable livelihoods for all Fijians. 6 months from now, the ministry will monitor and evaluate the businesses that have received this grant.
The monitoring will enable us to evaluate the impact of the support provided to your business and how has it improved your livelihood.
This is the third distribution of grants for Savu-Savu and the 26th phase of disbursement. $14.5 million has been set aside by government for the Small and Micro Business Grant Scheme, which will benefit over 15,000 small and micro business owners. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Traders who have a monopolistic position are holding the Fijian market to ransom. However, the economy minister has warned these traders this will not continue any further as the government clears out the unethical practices. Rachel Nuth with the story.
In an interview with FBC News, Economy Minister A.R. Said Kiyum says close to 70% of goods sold in supermarkets are brought in by selected companies in Fiji.
We may talk at the retailer, oh, he's charging so much, but in fact the poor retailer sometimes is also subject to this one person having the sole agency, one company having the sole agency for Johnson & Johnson products.
The government is going to change its approach in monitoring these traders.
We've always looked at the retail end, we have not looked at the wholesale end. And that's fundamentally what we're doing. And there will be a lot more activity in that respect. And as a result of that, as you've seen, the price of goods actually coming down now.
The Revenue and Customs Service says it's important they use their best form of systems to track down these retailers.
We raise up to 90% of government revenue, and it is therefore very, very critical that the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service has a very efficient systems in place and business processes in place.
The minister is warning the supposed greedy traders to start working within the laws of this country or prepare to face the consequences. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
People with disabilities are often at a much higher risk of violence than those without a disability. At the International Disabled Persons Day celebration today, a plea has been made for every Fijian to take responsibility for how they treat others. Eleanor Tarangaiviu with this report.
Children with disabilities are almost 4 times more likely to experience violence than non-disabled children. Minister for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation, Merseni Buniwanga, reveals that adults with some form of disability are 1.5 more times likely to be a victim of violence than those without a disability. And adults with mental health conditions are at nearly 4 times the risk of experiencing violence.
Factors which place people with disabilities at higher risk of violence include stigma, discrimination and ignorance about disability, as well as the lack of social support for those who care for them.
Persons with disabilities in Fiji make up about 10% of our population. Today is International Disabled Persons Day, a day to celebrate the constitutional rights to equality. But the turnout at the celebration today in Savu painted a different picture.
One thing struck me when we were marching, and even as we sit here. I was hoping to see more able-bodied persons here today to show our support and recognition of those persons living with disability in Fiji.
Other everyday challenges faced by persons with disabilities also include the lack of proper infrastructure and services to cater for their needs, as well as difficulties in attaining higher tertiary education.
So for persons with disability, if we could mainstream persons with disability to participate in mainstream education, we understand that we have special school education, but the main question is that where to after special education?
Minister Merseni Buniwanga is pleading with every Fijian to be more understanding and compassionate to persons with disabilities so they can fully enjoy their rights. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Miot Pacific Hospitals has expanded its operations and will have a fully operational cardiac and emergency center from tomorrow. We now join Felipe Naikaso, who is at the official launch at the Grand Pacific Hotel. Felipe, tell us more.
Yes, thank you very much, Jackie. And as you've mentioned, we're here at the launching of the Miot Pacific Hospitals, and I'm joined with the general manager of the hospital, who will tell us a little bit more about what services that they have, which is different from other private hospitals or hospitals around the country.
Thank you, Felipe. In terms of what's different, we will offer you the best diagnostic facilities in this region in terms of the best CT scan provisions that will be offering this tonight. We'll also be offering 24/7 services of full cath lab, full operational, and this should be able to address all heart attacks that will occur from this point now and moving forward.
Thank you very much, sir, and Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Felipe. Still to come, women told to speak out against violence. And Pinktober provides chance for cancer advocacy. Stay with us.
Moala radada ranavika, au tikongona tau no singatoka, andou talisaka na wakaronga ng Bula FM, number 2 na serre.
Ya dora chubuni kurnambili, iborani batsukara hambara binaranga, Total takinan na barongan ng Bula FM, number 2 en serie. Bula!
Bula FM, number 2 en serie.
A 75-year-old woman from Tendamu, Lautoka was killed yesterday when struck by a wheel which came off a passing vehicle. She was selling mangoes at the roadside when the accident occurred. The victim was conveyed to the Lautoka hospital at midday and died later in the afternoon. The 31-year-old driver of the vehicle also sustained injuries and hasn't yet been questioned by police as their investigation continues. A post-mortem will be conducted to ascertain the cause of death. Women are a strength for every family and should not be underestimated, says Dr. Fosmin Jungmeier. The German clinical psychologist was the chief guest for National Rural Women's Day in Nandi. Sanyani Boiler reports.
Fijian women are powerful, and this can be proven when they sew, cook and nurture their children.
We educate our kids even though so many of our sisters have not been to school themselves. Yet their kids know how to sing, how to clean, how to eat, how to go to a toilet without having the Western toilet system where the child takes 6 months to train.
Dr. Fosmin Jungmeier adds, with increasing cases of violence against women, it's about time they speak out and voice their concerns.
They're always there catering for others. And my point today was it is time to look inside of you. You're taking care of your home, you're taking care of inside of your home. It's time to take care of inside of you to have a healthy mind, healthy body, healthy perspective.
West Senior Women Interest Assistant Makireta Taoi says hundreds of women from the Western Division were part of the celebration.
The ministry has organized this program targeting women from Ra district, Tavua district, Nandarivatu area, Ba district, interior of Ba, the women from Malolo Islands and the Yasawa group of islands as well, and also the Lautoka district.
Also part of the celebration was the economic empowerment of women, social empowerment and the Pinktober awareness program. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The crew members of the Royal New Zealand Navy's inshore patrol vessel HMNZS Hawaii helped a stricken Fijian fishing boat while conducting patrols yesterday. Commanding Officer Lieutenant Brock West says a boarding team was patrolling near Muscat Cove when they spotted two boats at anchor and roped together. He says the team conducted an inspection and found that one of the boat's engines had broken down just after midnight yesterday. Lieutenant says the engine was fixed by their marine technician. The fishermen returned safely to port under their own steam after being stranded at sea for more than 10 hours. The trial of a man who was allegedly involved in an aggravated robbery in Suva began in the Suva High Court this afternoon. Mosese Oluivivia is alleged to have entered the house of businessman Muhammad Jan in August last year. Taking the stand as the first prosecution witness, John told the court that he was alone at his Tonganivalu Place home when he was awoken by a masked man. John alleges the man closed his mouth, punched and tied his hands and ransacked the house. Uluivivi is alleged to have stolen mobile phones, jewelries worth over $10,000, and he allegedly drove away in John's vehicle, which was parked outside his home. Stories of people fighting cancer are continuously being shared as they spread awareness on breast cancer. With the Pinktober month coming to an end, early detection is still the key message.
The lack of knowledge on the seriousness of breast cancer and how it affects people is one of the main obstacles in tackling this disease.
I had to learn a huge lesson. Never, ever, right up to that stage, have I ever given in to weakness. And at that moment, I realized I had to give up something. I had to give up my arrogance.
People have also been encouraged to educate themselves on the dangers of the disease.
And I'm so blessed to be, surrounded with people that love me. As we say that we don't fight cancer alone. My recovery is critically influenced by everybody around me.
The call has also come for more awareness on breast cancer.
As a matured group, we feel that we need to contribute back to the society.
financially as well as awareness-wise.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of death among women in Fiji. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, he will have the latest on the Rugby League World Cup, which starts Friday. But up next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Visitors continue to flock into Fiji in big numbers. And the ingoing Fiji Ministry assist in income-generating projects. Stay with us.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, young netters get contract offers, but up next is Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Increase in RB Patel dividend payout. And in Growing Fiji, farmers discuss the future. Stay with us. Leading business tonight, over 77,000 visitor arrivals in the country last month, an increase of 7.3% compared to a year earlier. There were increases in arrivals from the United States, New Zealand, Pacific Islands and Australia. However, decreases were recorded from China, other countries and the rest of Asia. Visitors arriving for holiday purposes accounted for 78% of the total, while others came to visit families or relatives or for business. Meanwhile, arrivals for the first 9 months show a 6.6% increase over the corresponding period in 2016. And we now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock markets.
Vinaka, let's have a look at our major trading partner currencies today. This morning, we saw the US dollar open stronger against our Fiji dollar, spiking up by at least 14 basis points. This was after the release of the Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index, which came out stronger than expected, which indicates improving business conditions and the overall economic condition in the United States. Australia reported a weaker than expected third quarter inflation figure. This saw the Aussie currency weakening against our Fijian dollar. The Kiwi dollar also opened the day on a weak streak. So, generally speaking, it has been a good day for our traders buying Aussie and Kiwi dollars today. Overnight, we expect the release of GDP data for the UK, which is generally expected to remain the same. And we are also anticipating another busy day on the economic calendar tomorrow, where we await the Bank of Canada's interest rate decision and the US price index. And that's the market update for now. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Rocco. Looking at today's exchange rates and foreign currencies in the Fijian dollar. The Fijian dollar weakened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.15 and 47 cents respectively, while the Australian and New Zealand dollars strengthened to close at 60 and 68 cents and the PNG kina weakened to close at 1.33. As for the commodities market, it was a mixed day with oil prices closing at $52.45 a barrel. Gold was up to close at $1,278 an ounce and silver closed at $16.91 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, the Ministry for Women has assisted communities in the Northern Division with income-generating projects. The ministry handed over a set of cooking utensils and cutlery to the Nasuva Women's Group in Bua. Minister Meriseni Vuniwanga also gave 2 sewing machines to the Nangele Kula community in Savusavu. Meanwhile, the Ulai Nandi Women's Group in Bua received 8 bee boxes to supplement their income by promoting honey beekeeping. The 8 new bee boxes will replace those destroyed by Tropical Cyclone Winston last year. And that was business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Marcelo Montoya raring to go at Rugby League World Cup. And Cricket Fiji starts new season. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। Hi, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम is hot. I love मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन पता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम, it's hot.
Vodafone Fiji Mbati coach Mick Potter has named the strong squad to take on the USA on Saturday in their first match of the Rugby League World Cup. Making the list is Canterbury Bulldogs wing Marcelo Montoya, who hopes to make his family and Fiji proud at his first World Cup. Vashnil Prasad reports.
21-year-old Bulldogs utility back Marcelo Montoya is excited to play for the Fiji Mbati at the World Cup.
I think getting an opportunity pretty early gave me a good chance to get close with the boys and I guess to learn.
Being named in the World Cup is a bonus, and he wants to repay the faith shown in him by Fiji.
It's something that like I always, look back and say, thank you, thank my family and thank God for blessing me with that opportunity. But to make my mum proud.
NRL star Jared Haynes says the Fiji Mbati side has done its preparation and is ready for the first match.
We've had 2 weeks together now. Every day we've been improving, so it's been a joy to kind of see the improvement.
Fiji plays USA at 9:40 p.m. on Saturday at Townsville Stadium in Australia. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Centre Brad Takarangi will make his Kiwi Test debut after being named to the starting lineup for New Zealand's opening Rugby League World Cup match against Samoa in Auckland on Saturday. Also earning their first Test caps off the interchange bench are Danny Levi, Isaac Liu and Nelson Asofa Solomona. Flying Fijians coach John McKee is impressed with the performance of the Fiji Airways Ndru in their first National Rugby Championship season. McKee says the NRC has shown what local players are capable of if kept in a professional environment. Vasnil Prasad reports.
The Fiji Rugby Union's involvement with the Australian National Rugby Championship is a great achievement for our local talents.
And that NRC program is a massive program for Fiji Rugby and I think we'll reap the benefits of it in terms of progression to the national team in coming years.
Coach John McKee says this is a good sign for the future as they are 2 years away from preparing for the World Cup in Japan.
The team has done very, very well. I think the players have really risen to the occasion and it really shows what our players can achieve when they're working in a good high-performance environment.
Fijian Drua coach Senirusi Seruvakula says they have had a good outing. However, there are still areas that need to be improved before the last match.
Be patient in some of our areas that we are working on, and things will just come itself.
The Drua takes on the Sydney Rays at 6:30 p.m. at Suva's ANZ Stadium this Saturday. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Competitors at the 2017 ITTF World Cadet Challenge have applauded the world-class facilities and the stage setup at the Vodafone Arena in Suva. As Meli Tavanga reports, the setup was designed to suit the tournament and allow for a safe sporting environment.
The unique event brings together the best young talent from 6 continents and unites them to face off on the global stage. Fiji Table Tennis President Anthony Hall smiles away as they got good feedback from the International Table Tennis Federation about the stage setup.
With the extra lighting, the sound, the whole presentation of this event, with the facilities we have, of course, this is the best facility we can have in Fiji.
Overseas competitors enjoy the facilities provided in the arena.
Sure, really nice. The lighting is really nice. It's a bit humid, but I like the venue.
The facility's pretty nice. It's better than I expected.
The Fiji Table Tennis Federation hopes with the second international tournament being hosted in the country, the interest in the sport will increase.
Hopefully some of that will get attracted to the sport. They can see that's very exciting. There's a lot of excitement with just not only just the skill itself, but just the whole atmosphere.
The weather was quite humid here, and this did not affect their performance in the tournament. The competition will take a break tomorrow and resume on Friday. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
The Australian Barbarians beat the Classic Wallabies 27-24 yesterday. Cricket Fiji started its season today at Albert Park with 6 champion teams from around the country taking part in the J.R. Wright tournament. Cricket Fiji also announcing that former Australian cricketer Nathan Bracken will be in the country next week to assist with development programs for local players. Eroni Tuinuku has more.
Cricket Fiji is on the verge of raising its standard of play to another level.
We got Nathan Bracken, who's a former Australian Test player and two-time World Cup winner with Australia. Recently retired from international cricket in 2009, so he's coming down to come and to work with Cricket Fiji and help Cricket Fiji develop the sport.
It's all about exposure for local players as they compete in various tournaments to help them develop individually.
So it's a breakthrough season for us. We're going to make sure that we continue the momentum and we continue to provide opportunities for players to develop. And it's a good start. We're just going to make sure we keep the ball rolling.
The Como cricket side took this opportunity as a chance to sharpen their skills.
I think we'll take this competition as a build-up for the game for the next for the Commonwealth Cup. We have to train hard. We have to stay cool during the game, and we look forward for the game next week. We will give them a tough game.
Cricket Fiji has lifted the bar to another level, not only with former international players assigned to assist, but also with local players getting overseas contracts. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
No nonsense. Fiji football coach Christophe Gomel has dropped Lambasa's Amani McCoy from the national squad preparing for 2 international friendlies. Gomel confirms that McCoy was axed for turning up the camp 2 days late without a valid reason. Gomel had previously warned players he will not tolerate such indiscipline. McCoy captained the national team in a couple of matches during the FIFA World Cup Stage 3 qualifiers earlier this month. The national side plays Kyrgyzstan in Malaysia on the 10th of next month before hosting Estonia 9 days later at Suva's NZ Stadium. In today's play of the day, Slippery Eagles quarterback bamboozles Redskins by escaping Russian defense with silky moves. Carson Wentz tossed 4 touchdown passes and ran for a career-best 63 yards, helping the Eagles overcome losing 9-time Pro Bowl left tackle Jason Peters in a 34-24 win over the Washington Redskins yesterday. That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in our new media segment, India is going cashless to counter corruption. Details after the break.
Bula, kerong mai singatoka, kerong do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kana Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko sila tale, naguraramay na omani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gawin sa vale, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media today, the mobile payment business in India is becoming a crowded field as millions are ditching cash in favor of mobile payment apps. The move coincides with the government's decision to take nearly 90% of its currency out of circulation in an effort to curb corruption. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. What a lovely day with sunshine, but of course rain did barge in and gave us afternoon showers, so be mindful while you drive in this wet weather. Looking at the west, a sunny day with few showers. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, a sunny day as well with afternoon showers and thunderstorms. More showers are coming our way later tonight. And up north, spotty showers were spotted here with intervals of sunshine. At sea, northerly winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 11:18 with low tide tomorrow morning at 5:49. See the beauty of sunrise at 5:30. For tomorrow, we are not expecting much sunshine or any for that matter. A rainful day is in store. Yup, get your rain gears ready. Tomorrow's temps, Lambasa will be scorchy with highs of 32 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, this rainy weather is expected to drift away gradually, so we can enjoy some fine and cool conditions. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked what punishment should be dished out to those found guilty of cyberbullying.
We should think that
in serious cases, because cyberbullying is not good for everyone, because we are all human. We should take a serious case for
suspects involved in cyberbullying. They should be taken to task, and relevant authorities should do their jobs in taking care of the suspects.
They should be given maximum penalty, 10 to 15 years in prison.
They should be given a harsh penalty and be sentenced for a longer period of time in jail.
People that are found guilty of cybercrime should not be allowed to use social media.
High-rise buildings can be earthquake-proof. After a deadly earthquake in 1985, authorities in Mexico City decided they must start constructing houses that can withstand strong shakes. Recapping the main stories: police to boost presence as festive season draws near, ministry to monitor SME grants, and monopolistic traders warned about trading. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking: should sex education be made compulsory from primary school level? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day is about rugby. The shot was taken during the training run of the Fijian draw as they prepare for the NRC match against Sydney Rays on Saturday in Suva. We'd like to encourage all our viewers to send in more pictures of our beautiful Fiji to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, kera mai singa toka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo tali taka na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Kaya kuyago sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tagi yang gitu benes sebale, nanggunto rongo, varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti na bonga ni BNN.